Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So, obviously with Season 6 having now been announced and kind of a little bit of information starting to come out now, I kind of thought it would be kind of cool to have a little bit of an update video where we are, what we know about Season 6 so far, what units we might be able to expect and so on, because I've not really talked about it at all yet, because I'm not really one to be doing loads of, I don't know, what's the word, pre-season speculation. I don't like sort of saying, oh, it could be this, or it could be this, or it could be 27 other things. And so, yeah, I kind of like to wait just for a little bit of information to come out first before we really get stuck into it. But now we kind of have. And we actually have a release date for the new season, being the 21st of December. Kind of interesting that this time round, effectively the official end date, or what was always the official end date of Season 5 was the 21st of December. So they're effectively going from Season 5 straight into Season 6. Which is kind of the first time they've actually done this. Normally, there's like at least a few week gap between the end of the previous season and the start of the next one. So it's nice to kind of getting that transition to work a lot more smoothly. It's also interesting to see that we are much more in line with Frontier this time around. Previously, there tends to be that Frontier comes out, then we kind of get our updates a week or two later. It sort of means we kind of get a bit of an idea what's going on, but we're normally always a few weeks behind. Seems like we're much more on schedule with each other. Information on the new season has kind of been released by both sides pretty much in unison. So that's really great to see that we're starting to get a little bit more kind of in line with the other version. So what do we know so far? Obviously, yeah, release date on the 21st of December. Really not that long. Quite pleased with the pace that the new seasons are coming, which is a really good start. They talk about, obviously, it's going to be sort of the north. We see reference to cold, snow, ice. It doesn't really necessarily, in my opinion, relate to a specific faction or nation in quite the same way that some of the previous ones have. Or at least so far, I've not really seen any evidence of that. You know, if we think back to Season 5, we think to Season 5, then obviously it's very clearly based around the Byzantines. So there's a clear sort of relationship there. I think this is going to be more of a generic northern faction. And I think we kind of see that in some of the design. We get our first picture as well of some of what I'm guessing are going to be the new units. Obviously, they're quite distinctive because you can see down here, is my mouse working? It is. And you can see that they've got like the fire lance poles. So this is clearly supposed to be a fire lance cavalry. Assuming they're not just putting up a random picture of Fire Lance Cavalry, I'm guessing we can kind of assume this is going to be one of the new units. It seems likely that Fire Lancers are one of the units that's being upgraded. Seems quite plausible. Fire Lancers kind of have needed a bit of a rework for quite a long time now. So out of all the sort of T5 cavalry to pick, kind of seems an obvious one to go for. Sort of opens up a few questions though about how is it actually going to work. You know, cavalry at the moment has a max level of 30. Is that going to be staying the same? Presumably there's going to be a new veterancy line associated with it. And presumably it's going to be a better version of the existing T5 cav. Or at least a reworked version in terms of how they play. So if that's the case, it's going to open up some interesting questions. I think particularly as cavalry is certainly one of the... There's quite a lot of cavalry in siege battles at the moment. And so introducing another tier 5 cav, or even as a seasonal unit, means there's going to be a lot of them played. So this is really going to sort of reinforce that meta. It's also probably going to really re-emphasise the importance of Imperial Pike Guard. They're just going to become such a staple unit in everyone's warband. We'll probably end up having another video on them shortly before the season. If it's going to be a cav-heavy season, then I think that's something that is well worth trying to get people clued up on. Make sure everyone has got those Imperial Pike Guard unlocked and upgraded so we can sort of counter some of the cavalryness. Moving on down, we get a bit of a glimpse of some of the hero attire. Must admit, I think it looks cool. I like the look of it. Again, kind of harks back though, it doesn't really seem to relate necessarily to a specific nation in my opinion. But it looks pretty badass. Again, it kind of reminds me more of, I'm thinking sort of Game of Thrones Beyond the Wall. You know, it's sort of like a bit more like that to me. But still, very cool looking attire. So let's hop over to the announcement trailer and kind of see what we can see over here. Boot up the face cam slightly. So let's play this. Talk through different parts of it as we go. I'm quite pleased with the trailer. I think it looks pretty good. I like how they've done it. I think they've done a good job. Obviously, they are the previous season 5 paladins. Makes me want to play the poleaxe again. Feels like it's been a long time.
As seasons end, the brave shall know to fear.
I wish you could be actually this tall. Yeah, loving the hero attire. I wish you could do that with the poleaxe as well. So we're starting to get some first glimpse of some units. A little bit sort of thin on the edge, but looks like there's some sort of lads cavalry here we're getting moving up. Assuming again that the stuff we're seeing now, considering the way the trailer's put together, seems to be a lot of probably the new season 6 units. We're obviously getting some sort of new lads cavalry. We can see them again there.
And kings, arise.
And then we get these guys here. So we can tell they're a new unit. Obviously, that at least attire-wise, they've got a different setup. Looks like they're going to be some sort of halberd unit you can kind of see here. Maybe possibly an upgrade. We don't really know. We'll flick over to the Reddit in a minute and kind of have a closer look at some of the pictures people have leaked. But yeah, looking initially like we're going to have a halberd unit and then some lance cavalry.
Mid-ice with fire.
And there we go. It's a much better picture of the lance cavalry. Looking like they're quite an armoured unit. We don't know what tier these guys are going to be. If they're an upgrade or if they're going to be a completely new unit. Again, this is clearly obviously a different unit from the Fire Lancers or upgraded version of the Fire Lancers that we just saw in that first picture. So we've now got very distinctly 2 cavalry units. And unless this is just a unit attire, which is possible, but probably unlikely considering they're showcasing it in the announcement, then it's likely that we've got at least 2 cav units coming in this next season. And there we go, that was the Fire Lancers. Yeah, we can see these Fire Lancers again. These are the ones that we saw in that first picture, so we know we've got these guys coming definitely.
And deliver us from doom.
Okay. So it shows us a few kind of key units there, I think. We kind of saw these Fire Lancers a little bit in the video, so we know we've got them coming. We've probably also realistically got some other kind of Lance Cavalry, and it looks like there's some sort of Halberdier unit. Given that we already have 2 halberds in the game, I suspect that's going to end up being an upgraded version, but I guess we don't really know for certain. We do get a bit of a better look at the units. Someone's posted, if you go over just to the Conqueror's Blade Reddit, this is just the main public Conqueror's Blade Reddit, someone seems to have leaked, I'm guessing from the NetEase version. I think this is the symbol for WeChat, which is the Chinese chatting app. I don't know. And someone's posted some pictures here. Obviously, we're slightly guessing at this point. This is not confirmed information. This is not information publicly available on the my.com site. This is just on the Reddit. So, we kind of have to take this with a little bit of a pinch of salt. But I guess considering they look like a similar unit, particularly this helmet looks similar to what we were seeing in this trailer we just watched, I think it's kind of likely that this is probably the halberd unit they're talking about. But we don't get any star rating or anything associated with it, so we don't really know what level this unit's going to be. But considering that we know, if we pan across, we get then the Lance Cavalry, and then we get our Fire Lancers. So we know these Fire Lancers are currently a tier 5 unit. It seems unlikely to me that they're going to be downgraded, so we can assume these are going to remain as the tier 5. We don't know if these are a new unit or an upgraded. They could be an upgraded Cataphract Lancer. There could be an upgraded unit of Yeoman, possibly, because they haven't got the shield of the Cataphract Lancer, so it's possible that they're a Yeoman unit. And then coming this way, we've got the Halberdiers. We don't know if these are base Halberdiers or Halberdier Sergeants, or if they're just a new unit altogether. We've got a couple of options going on, but it kind of at least gives us an idea of looking like the 3 new units that we're going to be getting. And we can also see the name. They've called the Lands Knights, Lands Knights. I can't say it in German. My German is not very good, unfortunately. But you get an idea of what they're trying to be. Although, to be honest, I didn't think Land Knights had halberds. I thought they were more the two-handed sword people. But that's my dodgy history knowledge. The Armagier Lancers, which I guess is this guy here we're seeing. I'm guessing this is probably going to be the second unit you unlock. Probably going to be the 4-star. Whether it's a new unit or not, though, I don't know. Hard to tell. And of course the upgraded Rattan Rangers, the upgraded Fire Lancers. That's the one I'm most interested to kind of see how they're going to be performing, because I think that's going to be quite interesting. But anyway, that's pretty much sums up the information we know so far. Feel free to go over to the Conqueror's Blade Reddit. It's quite a good place to check out. Kind of a fair bit of stuff gets posted there. A few more pictures of the hero attire and stuff have been posted there as well. As they kind of come available, people get the information from kind of all over and post it publicly on there. So it's quite a good place to get information. Other than that, what else is there to say? I guess as it points out here, we've obviously got the new North American servers coming on the 16th. interesting to see how they perform. Obviously, they're supposed to be completely new servers on completely new hardware set up specifically for the servers. So, interesting to see how they work. If they work really well, hopefully that's something that we'll see sort of rolled out more across the EU as well, and kind of server upgrades going forward. But that about sums up my video so far. So, any questions, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for lots more Conqueror's Blade content, and I shall see you guys all on the next video.